All right, let's talk about something that gives every developer a little bit of anxiety: web servers. We're going to dive into a modern way of thinking about web hosting that basically challenges everything we thought we knew and asks the big question: is your server obsolete? You know the feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when a client calls panicked because their site is down. And it's always after a huge launch or right in the middle of a big marketing push. Well, that fragility, that's the exact problem we're going to talk about today. So, first up, let's break down the old way of doing things, the classic standalone server. I mean, it seems simple enough on the surface, but it's hiding some pretty serious risks that can come back to bite you. We all start with the dream, right? You spin up a virtual private server, it's cheap, and you feel totally in control. But let's be real. For any serious project, the reality is a little different. It's manual, it's risky, and frankly, the whole setup is basically a house of cards waiting for a stiff breeze. Just think it through. You push a bad update. Oops, there's no undo button. You're scrambling to fix it while the site is down and everyone's watching. The server crashes in the middle of the night. Well, it stays down until you wake up and see the angry emails. And if a post goes viral, the traffic spike takes the whole site down. The bottom line is, you've got a single point of failure for your entire business. So, if the old way is so broken, what's the fix? Well, for years, the answer has been this thing called Kubernetes, or K-Hates for short. But for most of us, this so-called gold standard has turned out to be more of a trap. Of course, all the big dogs, we're talking Google, Amazon, you name it, they all use Kubernetes. It's the engine behind the world's most reliable and massive applications. It's literally designed to solve all those problems we just talked about. So naturally, everybody wants a piece of that. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You've got to build it yourself. And we're not talking about a few clicks. We're talking 40 to 80 hours of highly specialized, expert-level work just for the basic setup. That's up to 2 full work weeks you're not spending on your actual project. And it's not just the setup that gets you. Running it day to day requires this deep knowledge of things most of us web developers just don't deal with. It's kind of like needing to be a Formula One mechanic just to drive to the grocery store. One typo in a configuration file can take everything offline. And for apps like WordPress or Drupal, it gets even more complicated. So what happens? Projects get delayed, and you end up needing to hire super expensive DevOps engineers just to keep the lights on. It's the definition of a complexity trap. Okay, so the old way is too fragile, and the right way is way too complex. It sounds like we're stuck, right? Well, this is where the story gets really interesting. Let's look at a solution that actually gives you the power without all the pain. This right here, this is the breakthrough. Imagine getting all that good stuff from Kubernetes, the reliability, the scaling, the zero downtime deployments, but with the ease of use you thought you were getting with that simple server. That's the holy grail. So how is this even possible? It's done through an automation platform called DevPanel. You can think of it like your own personal expert DevOps team in a box. It automatically builds and manages a Kubernetes cluster for you, right inside your own cloud account. This is key. You still own and control everything. You just don't have to deal with the insane complexity. Hey, remember that 40 to 80-hour setup nightmare we just talked about? Check this out. It becomes this. You connect your cloud account, you pick what you want to run, and you go live. That's it. What used to take weeks of an expert's time now literally takes a few minutes. That is the magic of automation. Okay, now that we see how easy it is to get going, let's get to the really fun part. What can you actually do once you have this? Let's talk about the superpowers you get to unlock. First up is auto healing. This is amazing. If their site crashes, doesn't matter why, maybe a bad plugin or a weird error, Kubernetes sees it instantly and just restarts it. You don't lift a finger. The site just stays up, healing itself. That 3 a.m. phone call from a frantic client, it just doesn't happen anymore. Next, say goodbye to deployment anxiety with rolling updates. When you push new code, it gradually rolls out to users with zero downtime. And here's the best part. If the system detects any errors with the new version, it automatically rolls back to the one that was working perfectly. You can finally deploy on a Friday afternoon with total confidence. And finally, autoscaling. Your website is now actually built for success. Let's say you get featured on a major news site and traffic goes through the roof. The system can just automatically scale up to handle it all. You're no longer punished for your success with a crashed website. Your infrastructure is officially future-proof. So, we've looked at the old, broken way, and we've seen this new, powerful way. Let's bring it all home and look at the final verdict. Because honestly, when you lay out the facts, the choice becomes crystal clear.
I mean, this chart really says it all. Setup time plummets from weeks to minutes. The expertise required goes from a niche, expensive specialist to basically none. And look at the ongoing maintenance. It's a fraction of what it was. And what's wild is that the DevPanel platform itself is free. You're just paying your cloud provider for the resources you were gonna use anyway.
And let's talk about the money, because this is a big one. A DevOps expert to manage a Kubernetes setup could easily cost you 10 grand a month or even more. With an automated platform, that specific labor cost for managing the platform just goes to zero. That is a massive saving that you can pour back into growing your actual business. So, who really wins here? Well, if you run an agency, you can now offer legit enterprise-grade hosting and actually make a healthy margin on it. If you're a freelancer, you can confidently manage a dozen high-stakes client sites without that constant fear of things breaking. And if you're on a dev team, you get to work with a modern, powerful setup without the operational nightmare. This quote right here really nails it. This is the whole point. It's not a false choice anymore. You don't have to pick between something that's too simple and fragile or something that's too powerful and complex. That perfect middle ground is finally here, and it's the best of both worlds. And that really brings us to the final question you should be asking yourself. After seeing what's possible now with automation, take a hard look at your own setup. Is it really ready to support your growth? To stay online no matter what? To let you build and deploy with confidence? Or is it holding you back? The future of hosting isn't coming, it's already here. The only question left is, when are you going to make the switch?